Now, okay, before I make
Sorry
a
for not
dog's
being
breakfast
retarded.
of this any further,
No, 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 no. Don't do that.
don't do
Don't do
what?
What?
that.
What? What?
No. Before, before you guys throw in another one.
Did
You
he say
haven't,
something?
okay, you
What did
haven't
he
heard
say?
that one?
I missed it. What did he say?
I said, before I make a dog's breakfast of this any further,
I've heard that. You haven't heard that before,
I'll
Shaw?
actually say something about the show.
Okay, you
Um,
go ahead. You go ahead and talk about the show. We can't
I will talk
deviate
about the
too
show.
much.
I won't confuse Xiao with my idioms.
Idiocy.
With
Oh,
my
that
idiocy.
that that too. Yeah.
I won't confuse Shao with being an idiot. Okay, I'm going to tell you what a director once told me. Okay? Just read the fucking lines like it's written.
You work with Jim Bates too?
No. Okay, no, seriously though. I was in it's probably the furthest I've made it in for a feature film, like Hollywood production feature film. And it was for a supporting character. It was oh god.
This is your Star
Oh
Trek
my
one?
god. Michael, no. Not Star Trek. Charlie Sheen's dad. Did the audition, did the callback, and then went back again, and we were like screen testing.
Sorry, it's
So it was
sorry, it's a Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen, thank you. And
Sip.
we were it was down to like it was like me and two other guys for this one role, and then another role is between another few guys. And so they were bringing us in, and they were like testing sort of each character, each actor with other actors. And it was a good part, and it was juicy, man. So obviously I'd worked on it for the audition and again the callback, and then when I was going in for the screen testing, I booked an hour with Andrew. Oh my god, this is how long it's been since I've been out of the game. Term 3.
Oh yes,
Really smart coach, very talented, highly touted, and sought after acting coach in Vancouver.
Andrew McElroy or something. No.
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah,
McElroy?
yeah, it's something like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyways, and we had these scenes, and we built this like really tremendous backstory for him, and like it was a lot of fun, and we really developed it, and I was so excited to go in and do it. And we're in there and we're running it, and I'm playing it with this. I didn't change lines, but I was playing the character like how we had kind of developed him. And the director's like, after, one or two things, he gives me some direction.
Mhm.
So okay, take the direction. And then I started talking about the character, because we just started talking about it, start talking about the character, and I was telling him about exactly almost like what you did.
Yep.
Right there. You create this like whole like new dimension of this character and level and layers to it, and he was just like he just shot it down. He just shot it down. It was like, no, this is what it is. Like, not even open to conversing about it or anything. And in that moment, like it's fine if somebody doesn't like your idea, right? But it was just the fact that he was so matter of fact about it, and that was it. It like threw me for a bit. Like my next take, I was like, Jesus Christ, like this guy isn't just even open to working with his actors. And that's
Right.
fine. Like maybe he had a vision, but like he was just like, it was cut and dry. Anyways, that's what that reminded me of when you were doing that. I was like, this is actually really good, but I'm gonna be that director that just says no, stick to the fucking lines.
Was it Hayden?
No. Hayden is amazing to work with. I mean, we will show up to set some days, and he'd be like, all right guys, like this is what the script is, because Hayden writes it too.
In collaboration.
And in collaboration, but but you do the physical writing of it, and I'm super quick to pull out my red pen. um,
Can I say all
jokes
of this
aside,
in
though.
one line?
Yeah,
Yeah, you probably
yeah.
could.
But on the day, it's like, okay, this is what it is. He gets his actors to go through it, and he's like, this is the scene, but to you and deliver it, and he's not a stickler like some directors and writers are sticklers. You have to say it
Right.
word for word, and that's what I always liked about Hayden, is he always gave you the freedom as an actor to uh, get the same message across, but in your way.
Yeah. Yeah. That's yeah, I think not obviously not all, but I think most actors I know would prefer that way. Or I know a lot of people who like maybe just sticking to the script, but if they have time, having a chance to play and using other words and
Well, and
stuff like that.
yeah, and that's what it is, because it's like, say it how you want and roll camera action, and you're improving. Like you still need structure, because you're going to shoot it multiple times in different angles, and you want a little bit of continuity. But it gives you that time before to play with it, and play with it with the other actor. Be like, and then kind of figure it out, and with his input as well.
Right.
It actually reminds me, I just actually watched on TikTok. It was a scene from Wolf of Wall Street. Leo and
Matthew.
no, it wasn't McConaughey. It was
Jonah Hill?
oh fuck, I don't know his name. You'd recognize him though. As soon as you saw him, you'd recognize him. I think he plays one of the guys. I don't know if it's FBI. It's been so long since I've seen it. That's trying to like arrest him or take him down. But anyways, and the scene is playing out, and at the bottom of the screen
Is the script,
is
right?
the script.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then when they say what's in the script, it highlights. And man, it's like the script, and then it's a page, and they'd be talking, and then you'd see a little bit highlighted, and they'd be talking, and then a little bit highlighted, and then some of it would highlight, but it wouldn't be exactly word for word what they would say. But when you see the scene, and then you see the words, it's like the scene is so natural and flowing and good and like performed really well, that I don't know, it's almost like, yeah, have the structure for the people to play in, and the world for the people to play in, and then just let them play, man.
Yeah, I
'Cause you
love
feed
those.
off each other, right?
I love those
You-
accounts just because I love seeing what the script is and how it ends up there, and just because there are
and some of it's
sometimes
word
there
for
are
word. Yeah.
yeah, there's some clips where I have not watched the movie before, but it's with A-listers, right? And just
Mhm.
seeing how they can take that on the page and transform it into the final product is really cool. And yeah, there's a lot of times where it's a monologue, but I've seen ones where they take the first sentence, they read the first sentence, and in the middle they kind of like jumble it up a little bit. They get the gist of it, but they have the last sentence
Mhm.
together. So the main meaning of the speech or the monologue is there, but um, yeah, they changed
I think it's
changed it around a little bit.
a lot to do with the I don't know. It's interesting because like you take somebody like Aaron Sorkin, and Aaron Sorkin he's quick-witted, it's fast, all his dialogue, his pacing is really quick. And I'm pretty sure it's he's the one, and is but like it's if it's on the page, you say it,
Mm,
and you don't change
mm.
it. And it's because it's like there's so much he's put into it, that it's like
It
it's
has to
just
be said.
yeah, you have to, well, and the beats, you got to hit the beats. It's all about the beats,
I was going
the
to say, it
beats.
probably has a rhythm to his writing, and if it's not
Exactly.
word for word, the rhythm goes and the scene gets knocked off and causes all kind of havoc. Clearly,
I
I
wonder
don't
what
write like
it's
that.
yeah. Well, I wonder what it's like to work on on a project that's directed by Wes Anderson, because he's so technical.
Mm.
Everything is very precise, and musical in a way where it matched to the beat and the pacing and blocking, how to hit this mark right
Imagery.
here. Yeah, you have
Yeah.
to do this block right here. Because you know the famous scene from Grand Budapest Hotel, which I'm not sure if you guys remember, but there's a scene where they're trying to, uh, they want to break him out of jail, and um, they bring in a conveyor belt at the jail, and the guard looks through every single item going to jail, and he like cuts up a sausage. There's nothing, no contraband in there. Next, cuts up bread. Next, and then they open a box with pastries in it, but it's so beautiful that he doesn't chop it up. But inside the cake is a key. He lets it go, and stuff like that is so technical and so precise, and the reset for everything I feel like would be atrocious to deal with. I just always have to imagine what it's like to be that the guard. His face in the shot, I don't think, is just his body and his arms chopping things and slicing things up, and I would feel a lot of pressure doing that.
Well, he tends to be a writer director, doesn't he, Wes Anderson? So I'm sure that if he does, because these films are so quirky in a way, and like you say, they're very. What's the term? It's not organized chaos, but it's very. There's a quirk to the way he shoots, so he probably writes to the way that he wants to shoot, to avoid any like. This is all my chunk of dialogue, but I want to have this many setups, and I want it to unfold like this. So kind of like song structure where you've got your riff and you want it to fall into that, so you write to the way that the beat is. But again, I'm not Wes Anderson, but I am taking an educated guess that maybe it would look like that. So if you would ever come across a line that didn't quite fit, that's probably something that they would workshop on the spot to get the pacing of it. These are, you're blocking. You're going to take 6 steps instead of the 10 words that I've got. Then we'll have to chop it down to 6 words, 1 per step, to make it from here to the door, sort of thing.
Right. Another thing I recently thought of is how maybe kids now or teenagers now will find X comedian funny. Okay, let's just say right now, I don't know. Let's just say Matt Rife, because he's kind of whatever. But
we can find a better one than that.
I
mean, I like Matt Rife, but I mean,
so
sorry, yeah.
So no, so if they like Matt Rife, okay, and then Matt Rife says all my comedy, I grew up watching this stuff, this guy, this movie, and that movie. If the kids who like Matt Rife watches those movies, they might not find it funny at all, right? So what I'm getting at is one of my heroes, of course, is Conan, okay, and Conan's heroes are Martin Short and Steve Martin and those guys, the legends, and they were famously in a movie called Three Amigos, directed by John Landis, and I've always heard this title. I think when I was really little, I might have watched it in the background or something like that because I do remember some visual scenes from it. But I sat down and watched it in its entirety for the first time, and
So good.
not that I didn't like it, but I was like,
Oh, I love the Three Amigos. That is like.
I understand why they would find it funny, but I think that's one of the things where if kids watched it today, I don't think they would find it that funny.
It's like, why is the bush singing?
I think
You shot the invisible horseman.
Comedy evolves like everything, and a lot of I find sometimes what makes comedy so good is when it's current.
Sure.
Because it makes it more relatable or whatever. When people are like making jokes about, because most comedians are writing about, all the stories they tell, they're not true, obviously, but they come from somewhere. Maybe something that happened triggered them, or they take current events and they start making jokes about current events. And so because of the relevancy of it hits harder. So I imagine if you go back, I mean, one, especially when you're talking about just film, like, I'm sorry, but graphics for me make a big part of it, and how things are structured now and the way things look, they are a part of it. I can appreciate an old film, but I can't say there's any older films that would be in my even top 10. I don't even know if they'd be in my top 20. I don't know how far down you'd have to go, because it was just different then, and that was good for the time, and that was, you know, provocative or groundbreaking or whatever it was that made it so good for that time. So I don't know how comedy is with that, because comedy is obviously just words, but I think a lot of comedy is current.
Yeah, I think comedy and comedy styles does evolve. Like I think if Hayden, I wonder, because you probably watched it when you were quite young, right? Three Amigos. You
Yeah.
probably watched it like 50, 60 years ago. And so I wonder if you watched it now for the first time, if that would be a different thing. Because I grew up watching something like Airplane or Hot Shots and that kind of goofy comedy movie. And I watched it recently and I still think it's hilarious. But I wonder if, my nephew watching it for the first time will think it's funny at all. You
That's
know?
what I was just thinking. Like, I mean, from what I read, I haven't seen the film, but one of the top comedy films that just came out last year was the new Naked Gun film. And I was like, was it based on the same style of film that the one from the 80s was? Or was it modernized, but modernized slapstick? I would be interested to see that, to see if they're relying on a nostalgia audience, because
Mm.
like Mel Brooks has just finished shooting Spaceballs 2 in Australia, so I'm wondering if it's going to
Let's
be
go.
his attempt, if he's going to modernize his comedy style, or if he's very like, this is how comedy works, and you get to a point, and then it doesn't go anywhere else from there. So is it going to be the same as the original Spaceballs, or is it going to be?
I have a movie that it was the very first movie I ever made. No, that's a lie, actually. It's probably the third. But it was, we called it Quack, CWAC. It's called, it was stands for Chaos Without a Cause. So we started filming in middle school with the old uh, video camera that would sit on your shoulders that you'd physically put the VHS tape in,
What's a
and you would
VHS tape?
record. Yeah, right. Like, yeah. So some people might be listening to this and have to be on Google right now, and you're an asshole. But um, and when you wanted to edit it, you'd have to put that in a VCR and then another video tape recorder in a VCR that's hooked up to the TV, and you'd watch it in the camera, and you would just record from one VHS to the other. And when you wanted to cut something out, you'd have to stop recording it, and then you'd have to start recording it again when you wanted the take that you wanted. Anyways, old school. God, I just aged myself. I was really young, people, when I was doing that. Okay, like
That's
I was
what I
young.
had to do
I
on
was young.
my first
It was a
my
long,
first
yeah.
college videos were cut on VHS tape like that.
Yeah, dude. So you get it. Anyways, and it was like Jackass wasn't a thing yet. I think CKY was. Anyways, and so it's just us doing like gnarly things like Jackass. And so I cut it together. We filmed it, me and some buds. I edited it all together. Actually, by the time I edited it, my parents for graduation, they bought me a new one of the small cameras. Still takes like the little mini tapes.
Yep.
Anyways, but then I could put it onto the computer and I would edit it. And we did like a premiere at my buddy's house. And anyways, it was so fun. But it is not appropriate, and it's me. And so I'm waiting for the day when James is old enough and I can sit down and watch it with him. because I ripped it onto a DVD and like it's in my memories little box. So yes, that stuff he does find funny, and I'm. I wonder when he'd be old enough. When do you think he's appropriate? When do you think it's okay to show your kid some videos like that of you?
14, 15, I don't know.
Yeah.
Couple more years. If he's
What
old
if I
enough to
tell you
drink, I
there's-
mean,
There's some male nudity in it.
well, if
Oh,
it's
full frontal?
yours, then you might want to wait a little bit longer in case you want to send him to therapy. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not
it's costs a lot.
mine. It's not mine. It's not mine.
Do you guys just try to outdo each other? You know, if he does one thing, and do you want to one up him, and does he want to one up you after kind of thing? Does it build like that, or is it more of like a
Well, so there's kind of like three mainish guys, but really me and another guy are the ones that do a lot of the stuff. The other guy would do some stuff, but there's a lot he didn't want to do. He didn't like the pain. And then there is sprinkled of like random people because they knew we were filming. We'd be like, hey, we're shooting this. Like, do you want to do a scene with us? Like, let's do this. And so then there'd be like sprinkles of other people throughout.
right?
But no, as far as outdoing, no, it was just like we just wanted to shoot fucking gnarly stuff, man. And so it's like when somebody would have an idea, like we would just either both of us would do it, or some things, for example, like he couldn't do because I was hopping out of my buddy's SUV. There's like four of us. He was driving. Three of us hopped out, and I put my hand on like where the door opens, like on the roof, but kind of where the door opens. And I had my hand there, wasn't thinking, shut the
God.
door, slammed my thumb in the door, buddy peels off. Now I'm like, start banging on the door because my thumb's stuck in there. Anyways, get out, all's good, but my thumb under my nail, I get a big blood blister. So it starts to bubble up, and it pushes up from the back, like towards the knuckle. So it's like, hey, I got an idea for a scene. Let's get a pair of pliers. Let's grab my thumbnail, like where it's pushed up from the back, and try and rip it off.
What?
So
Okay.
things like that, he couldn't do. So yeah, but it was like when somebody got an idea, we wanted to just make like this crazy video, right?
Oh my
Well,
God.
at least
Okay.
you were coming up with original ideas and you weren't trying to steal anything.
Hey, that was good.
I was
You know
like-
what? Good for you for taking the first one, because it was an absolute freebie. Because I had one
I was
too.
like, nah,
I
You want me
we're
to be
running out of.
stealing them.
we're
I
near
know.
the midpoint
I was
here.
just about to, because I kind of planted that because I wanted to use one as well, but I'm glad
Nice.
you did it, because that was one of, yeah, very well done.
Folks, okay, what are we talking about? You have no idea what we're talking about. If you've been following along, you know, hey, Xiao's been dropping some amazing wordplay with bringing paradise in to segue into the new show we're watching. Well, Hayden just did that because we have landed on the show called Steel. And let me tell you, I messaged these boys 6 minutes in. I was like, in the first 6 minutes of this show, there is more. And I said more this, more that, more all this stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to say there's more. And it's funny because Shao responded more excitement or Hayden, maybe it was Hayden, but it was like, yes, in the first 6 minutes of the show, there was more. I was more into it than the entire season of Paradise, season 2. But we're going to not even talk about that because Steel, I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's on Netflix. It's a British show. It's a 6-episode series. It stars Sophie Turner, who you may know as Sansa from Game of Thrones. Yes, thank you.
And also the new
And,
Tomb Raider. She's going to be Lara Croft.
Yeah,
That's
there
correct.
we go.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we started this. It's 6 episodes. So we decided we're going to do 3 episodes this week, 3 episodes next week. So if you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. There will be a little bit of spoilers as usual, because this is the first episode going to the series. I want to put that out there. But then we're doing this in 2 episodes because in 3 episodes we'll be celebrating our 100th episode. of Chummy Thumbs. And gotta do that. Did it pick it up?
No, it didn't register.
I did the ADR for it, so we're good.
Nice. Yes, so we're doing this in 2-3 episodes, and I'm so happy that we're doing this because I could not stop watching it. Man, I think the best way to do this, guys, is like, let's just talk about each episode as a time. We're not going to tell you guys exactly what happened, but I just want to talk about certain things and what I liked about it and all that, and then and do it that way. I don't want to summarize it, but I just want to talk a bit about the beginning, because when it starts, there's just this, it's like this wide shot of London. It's the city, there's people, it's people moving. It's just your general sort of establishing shots, but there's just something about it that I was like, okay, they're letting me know where I am. This is happening. It was good. Like, it was framed well. The way they showed the people in the city, sort of the day starting, it was good. You sort of don't know what's going on. You get introduced to a bit of this like investment firm and some people on a street that are kind of you can tell they're important people in the show. But you'd see one, and then all of a sudden you'd see another person kind of join them. They would walk around a corner or hop on a subway, and then all of a sudden there's somebody else with them. Never once did they acknowledge each other. Never once did they look at each other, but they kind of linked up, and you could see that they were starting to like accumulate all of these people and people and people. And it was just like, I just felt like, oh my God, like something's about to happen. They're building this tension really well. I know it's called Steel. And it just like, and then they all kind of get together at this building. They form in like one group, like 4 or 5 people, but at the same time, there's another group forming about 4 or 5 people, and they meet at this building. They get in opposite elevators, and they get in, and then the camera really starts to focus on them, and you can tell, because Kate's like, are they aliens? But you can tell they've done like prosthetics to their face to kind of change the way they look, and you're like, what is happening? This is so weird. Like, and then they're in these elevators going up, and they start pulling weapons out of this bag. And I just felt like, Jesus Christ, I'm fucking hooked. Where is this show taking me? What is going on? And that was like the intro to this show. And it was so far and so different and so much better and so much more exciting and just so much more than anything that Paradise season 2 is like, oh, like I'm interested to see what happens. Like this, I was like, what the fuck is gonna happen? Like, anyways, I could go on. I have more stuff about episode 1, but I really wanted to get that out. Like, this show, it had me right from the beginning. How did you guys feel?
First of all, I gotta ask, you got a spare pair of pants beside you, Justin, after that?
I not even, I knew better to put any on before I start.
Oh, it was like, right on. No, I do agree. Like, I gotta redact something that you said. It's actually on Amazon Prime, not Netflix.
Oh yeah, when I say Netflix,
right?
In case people try to find it on Netflix, it's on Amazon Prime, folks. I hadn't heard about it. Came out in January. It's got some big names in it, and when I realized it's got Andrew Koji in it, who I've talked to you guys about before. He's in a couple of other shows. He's in Warrior. He's also going to be Ryu in the new Street Fighter film. He was the computer dude that used to be an investment banker guy that does his little backdoor Cayman Islands stuff to figure things out. So I was excited to see him in it, and I know Sophie Turner. I've never really seen anything she's done. I've only seen the first couple of seasons of Game of Thrones, so not enough of a sample size. But I know she's legit. I do hold British actors in higher regard because their level of training is always very, very good. So seeing her as the lead, I was intrigued, and then the premise was good, and they didn't give too much away. But I did. Okay, I don't know if you guys got the same thing, but after episode 1 finished, before the credits rolled, they played like a trailer for the whole season. Did you get that on your end too?
Yeah.
I was like, what? Whoa.
Yeah, Prime. There's been a couple shows that we watched, Kate and I, that do that, and I hate it, and we just skip it. Like, I don't want to see what's about to come up because I'm about to just watch what's about to come up.
Yeah. So I was a little bit thrown by that, but I
did
do
not like that.
In terms of trailer cuttings, I do feel like they did well with not showing the story. But yeah, like you said, Justin, the start, it's like a film start. So they give you an establishment of a city and the hustle bustle of the city, and then they juxtapose it with her with a bloody nose in the toilet cubicle alone. So you get this high energy town city that is London, boom, monotonous office life. So you're like, you've got that juxtaposition right there. And then funnily enough, I even yelled, I didn't yell it at the TV, but I said it out loud. When we find out why she's getting nosebleeds, I just thought it was just like, oh yeah, she's dehydrated.
Time travel.
I literally was like, if this is some fucking time travel
You're like,
bullshit, I'm
what?
gonna, yeah.
But it turns out, folks, she just likes a little bit of the old snuff up the nose.
Cocaine.
Yeah, that. I was trying to be PG, but why the fuck would I do that when we've got... So, yeah, and...
I was literally talking about full frontal earlier.
Yeah, you're allowed to talk about it. You didn't show any.
Well,
He did say he wasn't wearing any pants, and he had a spare set on the side, and good thing I'm recording this. That is a decent pickle.
that's very nice.
I like pickles. No, sorry, I make pickles. Clearly, I couldn't get the line right. You'd be directing
Pickles.
me. I like pickles. It's like the I like turtles. I like pickles. I like toidles. But yeah, first 3 episodes, and I had to make myself stop because I knew like that we're doing it. I could have kept going, but I didn't want to accidentally discuss something in the back half of the season in the first half here. But I did feel like at some points the music can maybe be a little overpowering, but the fact that they kept it the same, like the score I would say it is very tone setting. It's very good. It's kind of eerie and high stakes, and they use it well, and they also add in well, there might be multiple times, but like they added in the heartbeat when things were intensifying and when they're low, and all kinds of like all of these elements that you normally would see in a well produced film and of our higher end TV shows, but all of these elements that bring you into the world of the situation. And I thought, was it the end of episode 1 where she sits back and she smiles? And initially I was
in the bathroom, right?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, was she in on it? And then I was like, no, wait, maybe she's just happy to be alive. And then we find out that her and her buddy, spoiler alert, are in on it.
Yeah.
Lukey.
It's they did. I had the same questions throughout. You know what? Fuck talking about. We can just talk about the whole 3-unit package because that was a big question I had. Was, are they in on it? And then you find out they are. And I was like, oh, okay. You know, I wasn't questioning it, but
did it feel cliched initially?
No, it was more like I didn't think it, but then when they started talking about how like they knew exactly the routine, how many people had to verify, how many of the committee people had to do it, and they just knew the complete structure of how to pull off such a heist and such a trade because they stole $4 billion. And so they had it, you know, sent to this bank account through an investment firm, And in order to pull it off, there are multiple layers that have to be gone through. And I and actually I'm gonna ask you a question at the end of the show because they knew all this. So then when the police they start investigating, they're like, it has to be an inside job. They knew all this stuff. And I was thinking, like, were they in on it? And then you find out they are, and it's kind of like, but they don't fit the mold for the people that pulled off this heist. Like, these are pros, ex-military. Like, they're not just like dudes and
Mhm.
gals, you know.
Mhm.
But I felt like in episode 3, I think it was, they did a really good job of explaining and making it believable how these two characters got involved and why they did it. The fact that Sophie Turner Zara, her character, she was refusing it at first, refusing it. She didn't want to, and she's making a joke of it. Oh, we're getting scammed. Like, it wasn't just like, okay, I'll do this. So I really believed this character and how she ended up getting into this position. Um, and now you have stuff leaked from her mom about what kind of person she might really be, and I'm really interested to see where that goes. But one thing, and I want to throw this to you, Shao, and hear your thoughts on it because I know you love heist movies, and one thing I really liked about this was the amount of detail that they put into the heist, knowing all these things and the backstory for how they did it, not just taking a cheap writer's shortcut like Paradise would do and be like, oh, they just knew it. It's like, no, there was a reason why they knew all these things. They threw in all these levels of security of detail. So as an audience, you're not like, how can it be that easy to steal 4 billion? The fact that they had one of the characters, the girl, at the reception desk. So, hey, if people came up the elevator, she greets them. Hey, what happens if this situation happens? It's covered. Like, I thought everything was just so well thought out and detailed and well explained. You got good acting, you got cinematography. I've said this before about British shows. I love them. They usually tend to do like 6 episodes, and that's perfect. There's no filler. We just see the story. Tell us the story. That's what we want as an audience. And I thought it was really, really well done for that. And so, Shao, I'm curious for you how you felt about it as far as a heist goes, because they throw you in it. Like,
Yeah.
you start in the heist. The heist is happening. Um, and so yeah, what did you think?
Don't get me wrong, I love the first 3 episodes so far, and yes, it is a heist movie show rather. But when it comes to heist movies that I love and why I like heist movies, this doesn't really fit into that because what I like about heist movies is the the recruiting, the planning, executing, the mistakes, the heist in the heister's point of view, whereas this is kind of like the um
Like the heist, like the build up and the heist is the climax as opposed to.
yeah, 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 I kind of like those kind of movies, and usually those movies the protagonists are the people committing the heists, right? Like Italian Job, even though yeah, technically they're like the bad, you're doing something bad, but yeah, so uh as for this, you yeah, you jump right into it. You do get a little of flashback about them recruiting Luke and Zara, and uh, but now for this show, it's more of another aspect of a heist, which is dealing with two people who don't really belong there and how they're dealing with the fallout of it, which is another really interesting angle. Um, so I think there were a lot of questions that I had that I wanted to ask you guys as well after watching just 3 episodes. But I really do like the character dynamics between Zara and her mom. I think it's very interesting. I um, there are certain things that I probably wouldn't have done that she did. Um, but it's also just the fact that being in that position, you'll feel so trapped. Being in Zara's position because now you feel like you're being watched. You have a friend whose place got bugged. Who's to say that your place isn't bugged? Um,
and kidnapped, and she doesn't even know if he's
and
dead or not because she
exactly,
saw the blood in the elevator. Yeah,
exactly. And now she's,
but
you
doesn't want
know,
to go to the police.
yeah, and she got involved. And then what she did at the end of the third episode is she wants to sort of back away from it. And um, yeah, the spoilers. There, she got a hold of the vial with a fingerprint, and so gave it back to them and say, I could have done something else, but hey, I don't want, I want you guys to be in my good side, that kind of thing. Um, but it's just the fact that now you're paranoid every time you go out and see two people walking together, even though if they are innocent, you're gonna think they're after you. Um, in London, there's CCTVs everywhere, and just that kind of thing is just like, what the fuck do you do? You're gonna feel so trapped, and then you have a chunk of money in this external drive thing that you can't really access until you're kind of out of there, I feel, right? So it's just, I'm excited to see the last three episodes, to just say.
You know what I like is I like that Shao. I know you watched them. You binged all three episodes in one night. I binged them. Hayden, you said you had to stop because you knew you wanted to keep going, but you didn't want to get ahead. And I think like those and myself, it's like those three things, those three comments, kind of speak volumes and say all you need to know about the show is the fact that it was so easy to just sit down there and watch them all and just give ourselves to this story and not want to stop. From a heist film, and I know maybe we'll get more kind of background because we don't really know much about the characters yet. We know they're comfortable enough to actually meet Luke and Zara in person, face to face, and that's what Zara even questions, like, and laughs at. Like, you're willing to just sit here and we see your face and you're not masked, like, you know, not taking it serious. And he's like, well, we're here to meet and build trust. If we showed up in masks, like, would you trust us? And so it was like just those little nuances. It's just I feel like it's a really thought out show, you know. I hate keep bringing up Paradise, but it's just because it's so recent. Paradise was a lot of us like, I don't know about this. I don't know where's this going. Like, I hope they do something to make me excited. Whereas this is like, it just feels so thought out and detailed, and I'm just so submersed in it that, like, I'm not even thinking about like, oh, I hope that they do this. It's like, it's where are you taking me?
Yeah.
I cannot
Yeah.
wait to go. Like,
Yeah.
take me. You know, so it's so nice. And I can't wait till we get off because I know when we finish, like, we get to watch the next three episodes and finish the show because
Yeah.
it's just got me, man. It's got me.
And he's done. He's sitting. He's basking in it. He's basking in it. I didn't know if you wanted to come to me next, but
You know, we don't have to. I can keep talking. Okay, so
no. I was like, is my internet dicking up again?
okay, so I got some questions.
Okay.
It's being a bit of a pickle, that's for sure. So go ahead, Hayden. Go ahead.
Your internet's cooked, man.
Correct.
It's crooked. It's crooked. You're using, I guess it's the right term. And I didn't say crooked. I was crook. Singular. Remember that. Singular.
Oh, excuse my Aussie slang.
Now, okay, before I
Sorry
make a
for not
dog's
being
breakfast
retarded.
of this any further, we'll keep...
No, don't do that.
Don't do what?
that.
What?
No. Before you guys throw in another one?
Did he say something?
Okay, you
What'd
haven't
he
heard that one?
I missed it. What did he say?
I said, before I make a dog's breakfast of this any further, I will
I've heard that.
actually.
You haven't heard that before,
I'll
Shao?
actually say something about the show.
Okay, you go ahead. You go ahead and talk about the show. You can't.
I will talk
deviate
about the
too
show. I won't confuse Xiao with my idioms.
Idiocy.
With my idiocy.
That too.
Won't
With
confuse
my
Shao with being an idiot.
idioms, colloquialisms, my words and stuffs. Now, granted, because apparently I can't watch 2 episodes in a row, so I might have blipped out a little bit in episode 3. I thought I saw everything. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did Andrew Koji find, or did he do the backdoor check of the bank accounts?
I don't think so.
Because I was like, how did they get MI5? The MI5 was involved.
He did. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I'm like-
yeah.
So I didn't want, because
He
I read
fell
the Wikipedia like synopsis of this episode 3, and I was like, did I miss that? I hope they didn't just add in information from episodes 4, 5, and 6 into 3 because it was supposed to not like. So I got a little bit.
He got greenlit to do the backdoor stuff. They can't use it as evidence, but he found out the details. Yeah,
Okay, because I saw that part where
like
he was
was
like,
saying,
just
he's
do
like,
it.
I figured this out. I got a lot of notes about why I liked it, but I don't know. I mean, we can talk more about the show, of course, and it'll come up. But I did have some questions
Sure.
for you guys from this. Okay, so.
Sure.
Zara and Luke, they get brought in on this project, right? And they meet these people, and they think they just have to give like their logins. So, and these people are gonna hack the investment thing, and they're only gonna steal a little bit of money from their bad investments or whatever. Like that's kind of how they get roped in, and they're gonna do it for $100,000. And you know, they do a really good job of explaining. Like Luke's in on it right away. Yeah, 100 grand, I'll do it. Zara's like, I don't know. It seems shady. It seems risky. I feel like we're getting scammed. Something's not right about this.
Because
And then they do this really good job.
Sorry. Because it happened through his PlayStation. She was like, I'm not going to do business with people that you met online who don't want to meet
Yeah.
in person.
Yeah, through Call of Duty, and these people meet, and that leads to them meeting and her being like, well, you're showing me your face. You know, like she's questioning it the whole way through.
And she gets rejected from the job promotion. She's like, fuck them. Let's steal from them.
Exactly, right? And they work for an investment company where these people make millions of dollars a year plus bonuses, and they make 40K a year, but they're the ones doing all the work. And she's so good at her job and all these great things about her, and that's why we think you should stay where you are. So yeah, she ultimately decides, fuck it, let's do it. It's gonna be harmless. Nobody gets hurt. I don't really, blah 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 blah. Anyway, so the heist goes down. It's the next day, and we don't. This is kind of how we find out she's in on it. She's checking this account, and all of a sudden there's £5 million in there. The job is supposed to be for 100,000. We don't know this yet. We find out it was supposed to be for 100,000 later. All of a sudden, we just see this character £5 million in there. She puts it in a cold wallet. For those of you who don't know, you can store digital currency on 2 types of wallets. There's hot wallets that you can get on a browser. It's like an extension, like MetaMask, Trust Wallet, all these different types. Or you can get cold wallets, and think of it like a thumb drive or a hard drive. You hook it into your computer, funds go on there, and they stay on there. So she's got £5 million on this cold wallet, and she's got to hide it. And at this time, we still don't know. Like, this is where we're just learning she's involved. We don't even really know what that money came from. We figure it's from the heist, but she's nervous and worried about it, and it's only 5 million when they stole 4 billion. Anyways, so if you guys are in that situation, right? All of a sudden, holy fuck, you have $5 million. And what you just witnessed, people getting beat with guns, all these people showing up with guns, not at all what you thought was going to happen. And you went through this. And now you got this $5 million. where are you gonna hide that? Because the police are gonna be onto you potentially. These people you barely know who said they're gonna do this thing all of a sudden showed up with all these weapons. And like, that's a bit terrifying. Are they gonna come after you? And you got this money on this wallet. Where are you hiding it?
First thing, I'll let Shao go. Actually, go.
Well, I was just gonna say it'll have to take some thinking just because I would be too scared to have it in my home, based on the fact that they might come, and I don't know if I'm being watched or spied on and stuff like that. But given that, where can you put it then? Because I'm gonna have to suspect that I'm gonna be watched every single moment. As soon as I leave my house, there's gonna be someone watching me. So that's a tough question to answer. But
She didn't have any time to figure it out.
yeah, she didn't have any time, so she went to the only place that she knew was safe-ish.
So where's yours? Where's your place? Do you have now? You just opened it. Holy fuck! There's $5 million in there.
Yeah.
Where are you going right now?
I am going to. Man,
Oh my
I don't
God.
know.
And you don't even
I-
have the real pressures of it. Yeah.
I don't
but
know
like,
because I think if I stash it at someone else's place, they might be in danger too. So my first instinct is maybe my parents' place, my sister's place, my girlfriend's place, or whatever. These are people I trust, but then at the same time, I might be putting their life in jeopardy. So I think at the end of the day, I'll have to come back to somewhere in my house. It'll definitely be back in my place, just because if they're gonna find it, they're gonna find it. I just don't want anyone else to get involved in a bad way. So it'll be in here somewhere.
in your place. Hayden, you just opened a cold wallet, $5 million. What are you doing with it?
It's gonna sound. Here's a hot take for you. I'm just gonna keep it on my person. I'm not gonna hide it anywhere. I'm just gonna carry it around with
That
me.
is a hot take.
Wow.
Because
Curveball. Did not expect that.
Forever?
until you could figure out if there was in fact a way to safely put it somewhere else, like a lockbox in a bank or something, or maybe like you mail it to yourself, or hide it where the thieves are, like they would never know that it was right under their nose, sort of thing.
Okay, so here's my question to you though. Would you really, if you are worried the police are onto you, there's suspicion that it might be an inside job, you have to go to work, the police are going to be there. What if you wouldn't be worried that they might
Just
take you in or search you or anything like that?
You'd have to know some of the due process of how police work. So you could safely keep it on yourself if you weren't officially arrested, because they can't just search you for no reason. So until,
course, yeah.
but if you had it on you and they went, oh, you're under arrest for suspicion of, a robbery, then you'd be fucked, because you would have it on you. But until you,
Would you
Do you-
hide it? Would you tuck it in your sock or?
it depends on how big.
You
What was
just
it say? It's literally the size of a wallet. So I
was
always wear
big.
freaking cargo pants, so I just stick it in an outside pocket, Or if you played hockey like you boys, you've got like a cod piece. You just shove it down the front there. Just,
Okay, so let's say you keep it on your persons. Yeah, because I thought that too. Like, it would be hard not to have it on you. But you can't keep it on you. So you have it on you. Well, you assess the situation. You take time to think about it. Now, where are you hiding it? You say under the bad guy's nose, but you don't even know who the bad guys are. Like, you don't know
No.
where they live.
so
where
second
are you stashing it?
second one off the top of my head, if I would grab like a Ziploc bag, and I'd head to a local cemetery, and I would bury it in the ground,
You bury it. Yeah.
possibly in a fresh grave because the soil would already be turned.
Holy shit.
Okay.
Oh,
Because they're
man.
gonna just go. They'll be like, "Oh, you buried in the cemetery?
This
Where's?"
sounds like this guy's buried some
God.
fucking bags of money
This is
before. You know what I'm
experience.
saying?
Yeah, this is like
He's thought this
experience.
out. Yeah.
Me and
This
Pablo.
This didn't just come to him.
Me and Pablo talked about this, about where we would bury our money.
Yes. Yes.
I would
Very
go
good.
to a farm because they're always tilling the grass, and I would throw it in a trench where they were sowing seed, and then hope that it doesn't get rolled over by a tractor. Is that a little bit more less macabre?
So you know what I find interesting is that neither of you said that you would go to the police.
Well, you said that we were in the world of the.
Yeah,
Or was the
look at-
situation if we
look-
just woke up and had the money in our account?
No. It's this situation. So, but like, okay, let's talk about this then. Because yes, I did ask where would you hide it? What would you do in that situation? Zara and Luke are both in this situation. Luke is, we find out later in episode 3, he's the one that's kind of driving it to get Zara in. It happens after it's said and done. By the way, they're acting when the heisters were there and that phone rang and they had to take the call. God damn, were they both fucking brilliant. Anyways, so Luke, the one who's kind of driving the force to get Zara in, and then Zara comes in reluctantly. And then, of course, after it plays out, it's sort of Luke's the one who's caving and going to go to the police, and ultimately does try and go to the police. And Zara's the one who's against it. You're in that situation. You're part of it. Whatever. You don't have to be one character or the other. That situation happens to you. You go in, you decide to do it. It's supposed to be some simple, easy thing. You're just giving your login details. Nobody gets hurt. No big deal. And I know this is almost an impossible question to answer, but what are you doing in that situation after all that happens? Are you going to the police trying to get into witness protection? Are you trying to take the money and hide? Like, what do you think you're doing in that situation?
I feel like Hayden's gonna go to the police.
And
You would
that's
think
fine. I don't think there's a right or
wrong.
wrong answer.
You
Okay.
just try to find a way to keep the money.
Well, I think if you had got yourself into the situation for monetary reasons, you wouldn't automatically go to the cops as soon as you got said money. So you will eventually, like Luke's character, starts having a mental breakdown when it becomes all too much. But initially you're going to be like, all right, I got my money. Now how am I going to protect this money until I can get a chance to use this money?
Would you peace out right away? Like, fuck it. Just leave the country. Like, why are you staying there?
If
I guess that's hard to just get up and uproot your life.
Yeah. If you had nothing and no one, yeah, you'd be looking at countries that had no extradition, and you would be like, you know what, I could set up a life in Brazil or
Take a moment to think about it.
whatever. So, but if you had family around, you'd have to assess the situation. Be like, okay, like Zara, she's got her mom to think about. That's obviously the only family we know about. She cares for her friends as well. Like, obviously she's friends with Luke, so you're like, okay, I can't just peace out on these people. Where do I go? Do I go straight away?
Mm-hmm.
No, because I mean, automatically dipping straight away is going to make you guilty. Obviously, the cops are going to be like, "Yep, guilty." So
Bit of a red flag.
yeah, be, I was so stressed I couldn't sleep. I had to leave the country to get away from it all. I'm back now though.
Needed to go to an all-inclusive.
That's right.
Really bad.
That's right. You know
And
what?
I
You want
paid
one,
for it with Bitcoin.
one thing that kind of I wouldn't say annoyed. It was such a small thing, but there's a scene when Zara is back at her mom's after her mom has discovered the drive. What I would do. I'm not saying they should rewrite this at all. Whatever. I'm happy with how the story is going. But what I would do is I would try to convince the mom that there was $1 million in there, and that she can have half of it or something like that. I know she made a comment about how, okay, it was X amount that was stolen, and why would they give you such a little? Because at first she said a small amount, right? I think I can't
You
remember
said
what
a
it was.
million at first, yeah.
I think she
I
said something
think it was a
smaller at
million at
first. Was it
first.
not? Was it not? I thought she said it was originally the original amount or something. I can't remember, but I think she upped it after and then said it was 5 million. But
5 million, yeah.
I was like, I would can try to convince her that it was just a
Just a
bit
million.
of just a million because she didn't have to do any heavy lifting or whatever, and that I will give you 500,000 pounds for the information.
I
That's
think
the
she said there was a million, but she said she would give her like a very small amount, and then the mom wanted a million. Oh yeah, because she didn't ask how much was on there. I think she said, "How much will you pay me for it?"
She's like, I want 20% or whatever
Didn't
it
she?
was.
yeah, and she
Yeah,
said
and
20%
I think
or
she said
something
like
like that after she
20.
found out it was five
Yeah,
million, I think.
yeah,
So
which
yeah,
is $1 million. Yeah.
right. Which I mean, you still
Are
get
you
to keep
kidding
the
me? I'd do it
four.
in a second. You still
Yeah,
got 4 million.
you got the
That's
four
still
for doing
3.9 million more than you thought you were gonna get.
Yeah. Which,
But
very
I get it
quickly,
that she wouldn't trust her mom. Yeah.
I want to make this point or this comment before we start to wrap up that I want to know if they're going to explore why it went from small task of $100,000. Were they blindsided a bit when the heist actually happened? Were they blindsided a bit when the heist happened and they were like, it's actually $4 billion of that you're going to be transferring and you'll get a little bit more when you log in tomorrow? Like, I wonder if they're going to show that or if it's just implied that she signed on at 100,000 and a code, and then all of a sudden it was, you've got to do the code, you've got to do the sign off, you've got to call the loan officer or whatever it was, you've got to sell this because we're stealing everything.
Yeah, I wonder. Because also too, like giving them more money kind of like implicates them more in the crime. I know any amount of money does, but that's a good point. I thought more as a like implicates them more being more involved in the crime. But it's a good point because I'm gonna end on this because we do got to wrap it up. And I don't get the sense necessarily that the bad guys are bad people.
I agree, because that's what I figured when they found out that where the money was transferred to.
Yeah, and they
I
never
think that
want
there's-
to. Yeah,
I
go ahead.
feel like there's a bigger power, and they're either stealing from it or working with it.
Exactly. They didn't kill anybody inside. They fucked people up. Yeah, they needed to prove they were serious. And even Luke, they didn't kill him. They knocked him out and kidnapped him. So, if these are ruthless savages, killers, assassins, whatever it can to get the money, like, I'm sure they have that capability in them, no doubt. But I also think they're incredibly intelligent and skilled that, that's sort of a last means for them. They have an objective, and that's it. They have an objective. They're gonna do their objective. They'll hurt who needs to get hurt, but ultimately, they're there for a reason. So I don't get that feeling like they're doing it because because why do you need $4 billion? You don't. It's such an insane amount of money.
Yeah, well, I wonder if they are in fact maybe ex-spies, MI6 or MI5.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's who we find out at the end of the episode when she's like, they're after me, they're trying to kidnap me. And she runs into the detective and he's like, that wasn't those people. That was,
It's
wasn't
MI5
that.
agents.
Yeah, it's MI5. Whew, man, what a great 3 episodes. Can't wait to watch the next 3. Let's wrap this thing up because it's that time. If you haven't yet started the show, please do. You will have no problem binging all 6 episodes, and you're welcome. And this is our apology to you for having you guys sit through Paradise season 2 with us. This one's is different, man. It's good. Yeah. So much more we could talk about this, and maybe next time we'll do a little less banter if the next 3 episodes are as good or even exceed what the first 3 were, because there'll be lots to talk about and lots to dive into. So yeah, check it out. It's on Amazon Prime, not Netflix. Listen to Hayden. Don't ever listen to me. And until next week, my fine people, keep on thumbing.